Sup, you beautiful bastards? Hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. Welcome back to the Philip Defranco Show, and let's just jump into it. And the first thing we have to talk about today, one of the most requested stories today, is this situation with United Airlines. So if you haven't heard, a woman by the name of Catalina Robledo was traveling with her 2 children and a 10-month-old French bulldog on United Airlines. The flight was from Houston to New York City, and while on that flight, an attendant allegedly told her to store the dog in an overhead bin. And this is Catalina and her daughter Sophia on Good Morning America this morning describing the situation.
We were gonna put him under the seat, and then the flight attendants came. She said, you have to put him up there because it's gonna block the path. And we're like, it's a dog, and she's like, it doesn't matter, you still have to put it up there. And she helped her put it up, and she just closed it like it was a baggage.
We also had Maggie Greminger, a witness seated near the family, who tweeted about the incident and told reporters. The pet owner was very adamant that she did not want to put the pet carrier up above. She was saying verbally, "My dog is in here. No, this is my dog." The flight attendant, in response, really just continued to ask her to put it above because it was a hazard where it was. It was a safety emergency, someone could trip. Another witness, June Lara, writing on Facebook, the flight attendants of flight UA1284 felt that the innocent animal was better off crammed inside the overhead container without air and water. They insisted that the puppy be locked up for 3 hours without any kind of airflow. The little daughter Sophia also said that her mother asked if she could carry the dog on her lap, but the flight attendant refused. So eventually Catalina complies. The dog's barking during a part of the flight, but eventually it falls silent. Reportedly, Catalina also wasn't able to check on the dog because she had a baby in her lap. The plane was going through turbulence, and when the flight finally landed, they found their dog dead.
She took him out and opened the thing, and then she got the dog, and he was dead.
Reportedly to eyewitnesses, Catalina fell to the ground. She was crying. The daughter was crying. One of the eyewitnesses saying the flight attendant seemed frazzled and shocked, saying she didn't know there was a dog in the bag, and if so, she would never have instructed it to be placed in the bin above. But obviously that doesn't connect with what the family said and what other eyewitnesses have said. And since all of this happened, United Airlines released a statement saying, "This was a tragic accident that should never have occurred, as pets should never be placed in the overhead bin. We assume full responsibility for this tragedy and express our deepest condolences to the family and are committed to supporting them. We are thoroughly investigating what occurred to prevent this from ever happening again." And the family was also reportedly refunded their tickets, although they still have a dead dog. And my personal response to that statement from United Airlines is, you're using a pretty fucking loose definition of accident. In addition to having the statements from the victims of this situation, you have unaffiliated other eyewitnesses on that same aircraft saying that there was a back and forth about a dog that they rightly did not want to put in the bin above. Multiple eyewitness accounts saying the dog was barking. Everyone knew there was a dog. How is that an accident? The only accident I see maybe associated with this situation is that many years ago, this flight attendant's father didn't pull out. You either had a flight attendant who didn't give a fuck about this animal, or you had a flight attendant that was so dismissive of one of the people who paid for a ticket to get on that airline that they really weren't listening to this customer, and because of that negligence, an animal is dead. Also, random fun fact that we found out while researching this story, if you're ever traveling with an animal, it's probably important to know that according to a report from the Department of Transportation, as of last year, United actually has the highest number of animal deaths and injuries among all U.S. airlines, with reportedly 18 animals killed and 13 injured while flying through the airline's Pet Safe Cargo program. And actually, right before uploading today's show, we have an update to this story, kind of. Reportedly, a woman and her 2 children yesterday were flying from Oregon to Kansas City. They were traveling with their German Shepherd, who was supposed to be in the cargo hold. I say supposed to be because after they got off of their United Airlines flight, instead of their dog, they found a Great Dane. And it turns out United sent their dog to Japan. As of recording this video, the dog is reportedly on its way back. On the positive side, it seems that as of right now, United has not killed this animal. But come on, bro, space these things out. That said, I do want to pass the question off to you. What is your takeaway from this story? What do you think should happen? Let me know in those comments down below. But from that, I want to share some stuff I love today. And today in Awesome, brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace, of course, a fantastic and incredibly easy place to make a beautiful website. Whether you need a domain, a website, an online store, make it with Squarespace. Squarespace's all-in-one platform is intuitive. It is easy to use. There is nothing to install, patch, or upgrade ever. And if you want to make the smart move like many from the nation already have, go to squarespace.com/Phil, start your free trial, and if you really like it, use offer code Phil for 10% off your first purchase. And the first bit of awesome we have today is the Honest trailer for Bright, the Honest game trailer for Devil May Cry. We had Bad Lip Reading, giving us It's Not a Moon, a bad lip reading of Star Wars. We got a Casually Explained on men's fashion. And then my favorite piece of awesome today is a trailer for the movie 8th Grade. In addition to the trailer just looking fucking fantastic, this is also a movie that was written written and directed by Bo Burnham, a guy whose career I think many people, at least old school YouTubers, have watched grow for the past decade. It's been amazing to watch this guy go from some kid in his bedroom playing 3.14 apple pie to now all the things he's accomplished and where he's going to go next. But yeah, I'm excited. That's enough gushing about Bo. And if you want to see the full versions of everything I just shared, the secret link of the day, anything at all, links as always are in the description down below. Then in some quickie company oopsie news, we had Ford today recalling 1.4 million vehicles. This because reportedly in those 1.4 million vehicles, there is a risk that the steering wheel can detach from the steering column. So just an important thing to know if you have a Ford Fusion or a Lincoln MKZ between 2014 and 2018. So there was that. Also, we had Limoges Jewelry. I'm probably mispronouncing that, but I do not care. If you've ever used their site and you're one of those people that uses the same password for multiple places, you might want to change your password in those other places. According to Cromtech Security's head of communications, over 1.3 million people's information was stolen. That information including addresses, zip codes, email addresses, IP addresses, but then most importantly, your passwords, which were reportedly stored in plain text. And here I'm just gonna use this as an opportunity to say, obviously there's no way to ever fully protect yourself, but if you are one of those people that use the same password for everything, don't do that. Don't make it even easier. Then, I don't always talk about notable deaths on this show, but I feel like it would be a disservice if we did not mention that Stephen Hawking has died at the age of 76. Stephen Hawking, of course, a renowned scientist, theoretical physicist. On the scientific side, Hawking was known for his ideas on black holes, the Big Bang, quantum fluctuation. Some of the major awards he received in his life, he had the Albert Einstein Award, the Wolf Prize, the Copley Medal, the Fundamental Physics Prize. His book, A Brief History of Time, published in 1988, was a record-breaking bestseller. It remained on the UK's Sunday Times bestseller list for 237 weeks. It sold more than 10 million copies. It was translated into 40 languages. In addition to that, he was the author of 15 books. He co-authored many more, and all of this is impressive on its own. But one of the reasons that Hawking was so notable, he became really an icon, was that he did all this while not letting the shitty hand he was given by life get in the way of him living his life. If you don't know Hawking's backstory, when he was 21, he was diagnosed with ALS. It's a rare form of motor neuron disease. It affects the nerves in the brain and spinal cord that control muscles throughout the body. The people who have it eventually succumb to paralysis. They lose their ability to speak, eat, walk, breathe. Hawking, when he was diagnosed, was told that he only had 2 years to live, but luckily the disease progressed slowly. And he ended up living another 55 years, even though he had other stumbles along the way. In 1985, after an infection, he had to get a tracheotomy where he lost his voice entirely. And actually, on the note of him overcoming what he was dealing with, I wanted to talk about a little bit of outrage I saw online. Shortly after Hawking's death, I saw people angry at Business Insider. This because they put out an article titled, "Stephen Hawking was rumored to run over the toes of people he didn't like with his wheelchair." And I kind of feel like some of the outrage came from the fact that it was so soon and some people maybe just read the headline. But the content of the actual story, I think, really feeds into the idea of Stephen Hawking never let the shitty hand he received in life get in the way of him living his life. Whether it be learning, communicating to share that information, or just fucking with people. Kitty Ferguson, who wrote a biography of Hawking, wrote, "The prince was intrigued by Hawking's wheelchair, and Hawking, twirling it around to demonstrate its capabilities, carelessly ran over Prince Charles's toes. People who annoyed him, it was said, found themselves a target." And after rumors circulated that it was one of Hawking's great regrets that he didn't have the chance to run over Margaret Thatcher's toes, Hawking denied the allegations, saying, "A malicious rumor. I'll run over anyone who repeats it." And so really, if someone actually read through the article and they were angry about it for some reason, I don't personally get it. I feel like showcasing someone in his position with the life that he was given, that he was still able to joke, still able to mess with people, I feel like it's a very connecting thing. And the note that I'll end on is the world is less awesome today than it was yesterday.